orbit there on the edge of the foam pile. Sets back up. He's going to drop in for another lunar orbit, maybe trying to link into a lunar loop. He's done that orbit twice now. Let's see what he's got for us. He's pulling. He's got 2 seconds left. Right at the buzzer. Drops a back loop in. Catch another edge. So maybe trying to do the back loop McNasty combo there. Solid finish for Tom Lay.
See what the judges think. So those angles could be a big score for Tom. Score's still going up. So next up, we've got Dane Jackson of the USA. He's sat in the eddy at the top, wearing bib number 2. And that's 480 for Tom Lay.
All right, great ride from Tom Lay of France. As Becca was saying, we've got Dane Jackson. I don't think he needs much of an introduction. Multi-time world champion in the K1 and the C1, as well as squirt boat world champion. Red Bull athlete paddling for Jackson Kayaks.
Not sure what he's going to throw this ride.
He really doesn't need an introduction. How many times has he won the Worlds? I think I lost count. Almost as many as his dad.
Yeah, I think we multiple times, 3 times, I think.
There he is.
3 seniors dropping in.
Dropping in with a nice wing over for entry 2 into a huge McNasty, getting it way up into the air. Going for a back loop, retaining the feature. Right away, going for McNasty to the offside where he doesn't have a paddle blade to help him out. Oh, catching a bit of a flush there. Oh, cool little pirouette to get him back into the eddy super quick. He still has 20 seconds left on the clock as he's back into the twin wave feature. Going for a lunar orbit. Maybe trying to get that back loop again. Unfortunately flushing. He's got 8 seconds left. He's waving it off. These guys, 3 rides this morning. Best 2 will count in our semifinals of the men's decked canoe, known mostly as C1. There we go. See Dane there on the screen waiting for his score to come up. So far 463.33 on the board.
Solid start from Dane.
Absolutely. Looks like it'll put him, if that sticks, it'll put him in the 3rd place right now. These guys are looking to be in the top 5 to move on to our finals, which we'll see later this afternoon when we'll be crowning our C1 world champion.
Don't envy these paddlers doing 2 sets of 3 rides in one day in twin wave. It's a big fitness undertaking. It's such hard work in that hole.
Yeah, I've been watching these athletes as the week goes on, and you definitely get tired. I've been there before, made it into a few finals in the past, and it's exhausting. We have some athletes that are doing that in multiple classes. Dane Jackson, who just paddled, is doing it in the K1 and C1. You've got Audie Robinson-Shaw doing it in squirt, C1 and K1. As we've got Philip Joseph of Germany. He won the OC1 World Championships yesterday, getting a gold medal hung around his neck. He'd like to make that a 2nd one here today as he's getting set up. He had a nice entry move into trying to get a McNasty. There's it is, nice big McNasty. As he makes his way over into the corner pocket, going for the McNasty in the other direction. They have to do that McNasty clean in C1 because they don't have a paddle blade. Nice big loop. Probably getting an air bonus on that loop. As he sets up, going for lunar orbit. Oh, getting bobbled around a bit in the hole there, and unfortunately flush with 8 seconds left. I think he's going to save his energy. He's got 2 more rides.
Solid start from the German.
That's right, he's having a great day here. All right. We're keeping the action going here in the men's C1 semifinals. All right, our next paddler from France, Jean-Yves Monstreux is getting set up here. We're in bay about 164. Goes around, nice big entry. McNasty going for that entry 3 score as he goes into a big snappy loop. He wants to move on to this finals. Oh, unfortunately getting a bit of a bubble. Tons of time left on the clock. He's going to move up. He's got tons of time to rack up a few more points. As we see Jean-Yves Monstreux back on the Twin Waves feature. Going for a nice McNasty. Pulling it around nice and hard. Going for a loop. Going for a lunar orbit. Great ride from Jean-Yves Monstreux. All right, the Flying Frenchman having a great ride here for his second ride of 3 in the men's semi-final of decked canoe. What do you think, Becca?
Well, it's an exciting heat so far, isn't it? Scores are all very close.
Yeah, they definitely are. We had a lot bigger rides coming in at times yesterday. I think, as you're saying, these guys might be getting a little bit tired, but they're all paddling very consistently. Jean-Yves Monstreux seems to be currently in our leading spot at 526.6 seconds. Right now, his second ride's looking like 326.67 preliminary. Hopefully we'll see that go up a little bit for him. 326, that's going to keep him currently in the lead. Next up, Owen Kelly of Ireland. What do you know about Owen?
Are we going for the PG version or the...
Well, we got to keep it PG here today.
Okay, so Owen is very local to here. His mum and dad just live around the corner in Lady Bay, so he's grown up here. He's worked here as a raft guide as well, so this is really, truly is his backyard.
Yeah, home spot advantage for Owen Kelly. That could go a long way. Yeah, the Irish team's got the drum out again. I can hear it beating. We've got some great leprechaun hats and green flags, lots of green, orange, and white in the crowd as we're ready for Owen Kelly. Here he is dropping in, going to go for a wing over or entry 2. Going right into a lunar orbit, backing it up. Going for a little cartwheel end to get him reset up as he goes for a McNasty. Sets up, going for a loop. Nice and high on the pile, maybe getting an air bonus on that one. Sets up, going for a McNasty. His angle's a little off on his landing. I'm wondering if the judges are going to give him that score as he throws a nice bit of a back loop there. Resetting, he's got 10 seconds left on the clock, going for a few cartwheels. Oh, going for the offside McNasty. Into a flurry of cartwheel ends at the end of his ride. Another back loop right at the end, just after the buzzer. Another solid ride for Owen Kelly of Ireland.
Another great ride from Owen, backing up his first ride. Seems happy with that.
Yeah, we can see the Irish team in the crowd. I see Tom Dunphy paddling earlier in his dragon boat in the men's K1. Definitely Irish so far winning the Team Spirit Award this morning.
Always.
I don't know, the Canadians were up fighting into that too. Saw definitely a good American contingent, lots of Star-Spangled Banners. The Spanish were down here beating up on the walls the other day, so there's lots of team spirits. Great community here as we have a Frenchman, Tom Lay, on deck here. French have a solid C1 contingent. 2 paddlers here in this first heat of the men's semifinals. All right. Tom Lay on the feature right away. Big entry move. He sets up, looking for that McNasty. Maybe getting some air on that McNasty, trying to clean it up a little bit. Going for a loop. Definitely very technical paddler. Oh, getting a little bit of a bubble out into the eddy, but he'll be back into the feature quickly as he drops in. going for a Space Godzilla to the right. He comes going for the lunar orbit, getting his boat right out of the water, maybe getting some air on that lunar orbit. Going for another lunar orbit. And that'll be it for Tom Lay, using his entire 45 seconds here in Twin Wave.
Good ride from Tom there. Looking at a 300-point ride. This might go up.
All right, we've got our boss coming by, offering to get us some refreshments here in the announcing box. The British Canoe Union trailer. See Coach Caleb Grady giving the thumbs up to some athletes as Tom Lay's waiting for his score to come in. He's going to stick with his first run score of 480 points, which currently has him in the second spots early on in this men's semifinals C1.
Dropping in that distinctive pink boat is Dane Jackson.
All right, here's the United States' Jane Jackson going for a wing over, entry 2. Sets up right away into a McNasty, snapping around, spraying water way into the air as he sets up. Over on the right side, trying to go for that offside McNasty. There it is. Catching a bit of air as well. Maybe trying to get some of those bonuses on the score sheet. Going for a lunar orbit. Into some cartwheels. Definitely stacking up the points. Nice big snappy loop. Getting some air. We're going to go for a Space Godzilla. Look like Space Gods to the left. Going for a back loop. Into a cartwheel on the offside. Dane definitely having a solid ride here. Oh, looking for an offside lunar orbit. Getting a cartwheel to the right. Using all of his 45 seconds here on the wave.
Big ride coming in from the American there. If that sticks, that'll take him into first place.
Absolutely. I think that is going to move him up to the top. That was definitely stepping it up from Dane Jackson. Had a bit of a flush on his first ride. We never like to see the athletes flush out of here, but this is a difficult feature. Becca, do you get to paddle here often?
I'm in the Air Force, and I used to be based just down the road. So yeah, I've paddled here a lot. So the thing with Twin Wave is that I've found is where you want to do your moves in the retentive pocket on that right-hand side, it's also very retentive to be stuck in to set up for moves as well. So what we saw in that ride from Dane was like a really good use of cartwheels to pull himself back up that pile, to set himself up again, to throw some of the higher scoring moves. It's all about conserving your energy whilst you're fighting to try and get back up on that pile. And that was a great example from Dane.
Yeah, you're right. We're just waiting for Dane's score to come in. Preliminary score on the board here is 663.33, which would move him into first place. There it is in green, which makes it official. We're seeing Dane Jackson now on the top of the leaderboard. That's where he wants to be right now. He wants to move on to the next round of 5 for our finals, which is later today. Our next paddler, Tom Lay of France, just got the thumbs up from Paul Shep, head judge. Another local boy here from Nottingham. He spent many years on this course. And Tom Lay of France is now on the feature. Getting a nice entry move. Sets up, going for a McNasty. As he moves his way over into that tricky right spot. Offside McNasty. That's got to be a tough move to do without a paddle as he drops in, looking for that loop, maybe getting some air. I saw him trying to hold his paddle up there for a second, maybe trying to get the clean bonus.
Selling it to the judges.
Absolutely. You got to sell these moves to the judges as he goes for a lunar orbit. Tom Lay also having a solid ride here. Up to 496 points tabulated so far. Going for the back loop. Trying to link it right into a McNasty just before the buzzer. Not quite getting it around. Bit of a flush, but a very solid ride from Tom Lay.
Waiting for that score to go green. See what the judges. It's gone green. So that's Philip Joseph moving into rank number 2.
Awesome. Sorry, I was announcing that as Tom Lay. I apologize. That was Philip Joseph from Germany on the water there. A little bit of a confusion with the order. We had a scratch from Jordan Poffenberger, unfortunately getting COVID here a couple of days ago and not able to compete in the C1 or OC1. So Jean-Yves Moustrou of France then got to move into this semi-final, and that was just Philip Joseph doing his second ride. He got 606.67. He was our world champion in OC1 who got crowned yesterday with the gold medal. Right now, we got Tom Dole coming up here.
Another C1 Frenchman. They've got quite the showing in these semi-finals. Not surprising. It's such a technical part of freestyle is C1, and the French just excel at technical freestyle.
Yeah, Tom Dole, he's wearing the number 5 jersey. What does that mean? He is a world champion. Any of the single-digit jerseys defined as a world champion. He's the defending C1 world champion. So this is his time to shine. He wants to move up a few spots on the scoreboard to secure himself a spot here in the finals later today.
So I don't know if you've ever competed under French rules?
Can't say I have. I tried to go to Macanito one year just before Sort in 2019, but the timing just didn't work out.
Yeah, that was such a good hole, the Macanito hole, but at the moment, with the freestyle community struggling with access on it at the moment.
I heard rumor of that from the French team the other day, which is unfortunate. They put on a great event there. Hopefully they can resolve that issue. You can see our current leaderboard after one of 2 heats here in the semi-final men's canoe, or the deck surface canoe, as they like to call it in the ICF. Great here. We've got a ton of great sponsors for this event. Direct Business Solutions, British Canoe Union, home Pure Point Country Park, home of the National Water Sports Center. That's where we are right now. Jaffa Oranges, Aquapack, Gill, Flow Kayaks.
Let the Brit correct you here. Jaffa make fantastic cakes as well.
Do they?
Jaffa cakes.
Okay. Haven't had one of those yet.
Oh, you need to try those before you
All right.
leave. It's
Hopefully
a bit
they
of an
make gluten-free, because our screen here in the announcing booth goes blank every once in a while. That's all right. We're working on all of the technicalities here and there, but we're having a lot of fun here. The crowd is definitely growing as we're moving on to our second heat. In this heat, we've got Tom Dole of France, Matthew Stevenson of Great Britain, Abel Thevenet, sorry, yeah, butchering that last name, from France, Landon Miller of the United States, and James Orbitson of Great Britain.
Yeah, Ibo, another local paddler, actually also from my hometown.
There you go. Ibo currently in the lead. He's also been one of our arena announcers here in the sports presentation of the ICF Canoe Freestyle World Championships 2022 here in Nottingham, England. Just got a few minutes to go until our next round. We're going to get started at about 9:30, which is in 6 minutes. So we're going to take a little bit of a break before we bring you that action of our second heat in the men's canoe decked surface boats. All right, getting ready for our second semifinal heat here in the men's decked canoe or C1 semifinals. Myself, Matt Hamilton, joined by Becca Jones here in the announcing booth, as we like to call it, the box. We had a great first round. You can see the scores up there from our first round. Those are the current leaders, but there's 5 men coming up now that could knock any single one of those guys down out of the top 5, and that's the goal here in the semifinals, is to move on to the top 5. Who do we got going here first, Becca?
We've got Tom Delay from France, defending world champion, also been a junior world champion in K1, and also medalist in K1 at the last World Championships as well.
Yeah, he's reigning gold medalist here in the C1. Tom Dole of France getting to bring up the action. The French have the horns going, the flags flying as he drops in for an entry move. Maybe going for that entry 2, wing over. As he sets up into that preferred spot here on the feature, coming around with a nice big snappy loop. Or, sorry, McNasty setting up there for the loop. A lot of these moves finish kind of the same as a loop as he goes for a back loop. Tom Dole's really throwing it around, taking a little bit of time to really set up his moves to make sure he gets them accurately. Getting a spin in there, trying to reset up. Going for that offside McNasty by the looks of it. There he comes around into a lunar orbit. Definitely getting some air on this little flying Frenchman. He's a small guy, but he can really throw his boat around. Solid ride from Tom Dole, and what I'm seeing on the scoreboard preliminary will put him right away to the top of the leaderboard.
Comes as no surprise, Tom is such a solid boater. Claiming that ride, he seems happy. He's down chatting to the French team. Frenchies are out in force this morning over on the soundboard.
You can see on the instant replay some of Tom's move there. There's the big smile. He's got the French war paint on his face there.
Big thumbs up from Tom. He's happy with that ride.
Yeah, of course, 713.33 points, moving him solidly into the lead above Dane Jackson of the U.S. Our next paddler coming up here, Matthew Stevenson of Great Britain. Is he another local boy?
Yeah, so Matthew studies at the University of Nottingham, which is one of the UK's top 10 universities. He's no slouch. He's also been selected to go on the British University's kayak expedition, which is generally a big boating first descents mission. So Matt is an all-around expert kayaker.
Awesome paddling here in the C1. Matthew Stevenson of Great Britain. That direct business solution bib 97, setting up right away, going for maybe an entry 3, drops in, nice loop, spraying the water way up into the air. Really snappy paddler as he pulls it around into a nice lunar orbit, linking that into a cartwheel, looking for some of those link bonuses on the thing, going for McNasty, showing why he's in this semifinal. Rechecking things, switching it up, wants to go for the McNasty in the other direction, and there it is, switches back. Some would say when you switch the paddle you're cheating, but doesn't matter, it still works. Going for a massive back loop, maybe get a huge bonus on that one. He was way up in the air. Going for a lunar orbit, inking it into a loop right at the buzzer. Matthew Stevenson having an awesome ride, big smile.
Big smiles from Matthew. One thing you'll notice paddling with Matthew is he is always, always smiling. And look at that score. Straight into first place.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that'll put him on the top of the leaderboard. And also our first over 1,000-point ride of today. We've seen lots of 1,000-point rides, but not yet in the men's C1.
And it's gone green.
1,013.33. The judges didn't really have to tally for long on that one.
Big thumbs up from Matthew.
Absolutely. He sold all of those moves to the judges.
He's a super technical paddler. He's no slouch in K1 either, by the way. He's highly skilled. Represented Team GB as a junior.
Yeah, I believe he was at the Ottawa in 2015
yeah.
as a junior. my hometown, the Ottawa River. Famous for its freestyles, hosted 3 world championships.
Next up is Abel Thevenet from France. And the crowd goes wild.
Yeah, the French are going nuts once again, showing that team spirit. He's wearing bib 59. Abel dropping in right away with a big entry McNasty, looking for that entry 3 score. He drops down in, throwing a nice big loop. Twin wave is an awesome feature. It's on a bit of an angle, but it has that favored right side. You can see all the paddlers working over to the right side to set up in the pocket. That's the retentive spot, but it's also a hard spot to get set up. So you'll see them working right up to the edge. Drops in for a big back loop. Maybe looking for a huge bonus on that. Definitely getting the air bonus, I'd say. As he trying to set back up. Using a little bit of time. Let's see what he's got for us right at the buzzer. Going for that McNasty. Switches paddle blades right at the buzzer. Going for the McNasty in the other direction. Solid ride for Abel of France.
Yeah, good start from the Frenchman. He'll be looking to capitalize on that with his next run.
All right, next up from the United States of America, Landon Miller. Paddling here with his dad. Both of them were in the OC1 category together. Both really solid C1 paddlers from the southeast of the United States.
Okay, so wait for that score to confirm that 410, that puts him in 8th position.
410 points
Let's see what you can
for Abel of France up on the board.
All right, everybody. And next athlete, Landon Miller.
What moves are you excited to see next?
Well, Landon will throw just about any move. He's a really solid C1. He's very explosive. He's a really tall guy. He's got this great reach. So he gets a lot of strength to pull around things like entry McNasties. Not quite maybe getting the angle there. He was looking for that entry 3, but there's another McNasty. You really see him reaching around, throwing his McNasty in the other direction. He's going to drop in. Going for a loop, maybe spin it into a Space Godzilla as he drops in, going to the right on the Space Godzilla. That was a bit better. Going for the loop, holding his paddle up, trying to sell it to the judges to get that clean bonus. Not sure what he just did there.
Looked like a lunar orbit.
Okay, look, lunar orbit looks like another lunar orbit. I think he's looking for that, maybe come around into the lunar loop as he sets up for a back loop. Right on the buzzer. Landon using his full 45 seconds. Definitely adding up a big score. 856, 870 on the board preliminary. Looking good. Awesome ride there from the American Landon Miller. We're just waiting for his score to come in with 933.33 on the boards. When you see that 33.33, there's 3 judges. It means one has given the score or not given the score. The judges have that. You can see Landon getting excited as his score is creeping up. So yeah, if one of the 3 judges don't get it, you'll get the 3.33. Landon's excited. He knows he's moving up. He'd like to be in the top spot and go last in our finals later, so he knows what he has to throw down. Look at his. He's going to be in second place with 996.67, just below that 1,000-point barrier.
Yeah, Landon's really happy with that first ride. What a great starting point to build on with one ride to go. Get yourself in that safe space.
There you go. Next up
is James Ibbotson from Doncaster, local boy, lives here, paddles here, lived here for years. This is his home turf.
Ebo currently in the lead coming into this as he throws a nice entry McNasty. Cartwheeling away, getting set up, moving around, going for a McNasty. Gotta love his matching kit.
Oh, he's a graphic designer.
There you go. Oh, catching a bit of a bobble there. Not what he wants. He'll reset up. Still calm and composed as he's going to drop in. Probably, oh, big loop, getting some air on it that time. Lunar orbit. Getting some air maybe on that lunar orbit as he popped right up out of the water. Going for the lunar orbit on the other direction. He's looking for those offside tricks. He's still got 1 second left, right at the buzzer. Put it around. Solid ride for James Ibbotson. Not as big as his preliminary round rides, but definitely pretty solid. He's got some points on the board. We'll see him back up here for another ride in just a few minutes.
I'm sure Ibo's got way more in the tank, ready to show us what he can do.
Yep. So what do these boys need to do today? What's the goal here in our semifinals?
I mean, I think as a minimum, we're talking McNasty both ways, Lunas both ways. Getting some link lunar loops.
Yep, that's going to get you up there. Air bonuses, the link bonuses. If you're going to do a loop, you might as well make it a big one. Get us some air, maybe a huge bonus.
And that's
the goal. Top 5, that's where you need to be, because then it's a clean slate in our finals. We're going to be doing our C1 finals and crowning a world champion later on this evening here from Nottingham, England.
And that's Ibo flashing orange on 6-10. See what the judges think to those moves. See if he was clinical enough with those finishes.
Yeah, the judges really are looking for those finishing angles on all the moves. You need to be within 20 degrees of upstream. Ibo coming in with 610 points, putting him currently in the 5th spot.
That's a good start from Ibo.
Yeah, that's all he needed to do was get up into that top 5 right now, because he is in the last heat in the semifinals and he needs to finish in top 5 to make it to the finals. So solid performance from James Ibbotson of Great Britain, which brings us back to the top of the order with Tom Dole of France.
Frenchman's just peeling out of the eddy, getting set up, ready for an entry. See what he's going to do. And an entry wing over.
There he is, in a wing over. Caught on a bit of
an edge.
Yeah, he caught a bit of an edge there, maybe casting a few spells, doing the Harry Potter, swinging his paddle around up in the air.
Hopefully Tom will get back in that feature. Tom is safe.
There he
Hopefully
is.
conserving some energy now.
Back on the feature, right over into that right pocket, looking for a back loop. There it is. Oh, he was going for that back loop McNasty. Unfortunately, flushing off. He knows he's already got a solid ride sitting in 3rd place, which means he's going to move on to our finals later this afternoon.
Probably a good shout from Tom there. Conserve that energy. Twin wave is such hard work to get set up. These paddlers are making it look incredibly easy, which is one thing it is not.
No, I paddle a fair bit, and what the action I've seen here has definitely been stepping it up. It's got to be exhausting to throw down like that for 45 seconds. You can see Tom's replay on the screen as we wait for our next athlete, Matthew Stevenson of Great Britain.
See what Matt's going to throw down for us today. Happy guy, Matt. Big smiles from the eddy, waiting for that thumbs up. Coach Jacko's on the side. He's been involved with Matt's development for a long time. Thing about Matt is, as long as he's kayaking, he'll be happy.
I'm kind of like that too. As long as I'm out paddling or biking or doing something, we'll be happy. All right, Matthew Stevenson had an amazing ride earlier. Let's see what he's got for us. He's our current leader, so he wants to stay in that spot and go last. Nice entry move there. Maybe entry McNasty right into a loop. Super snappy, getting lots of points on the board quick right off the bat at the beginning of his ride, going for a lunar orbit. Pops up, he's going to go for a McNasty. Big water spray off the bow of his boat as he snaps that boat around, switches blades. He's going to go for the McNasty in the other direction. Ooh, maybe a little bit off on the angles there. We'll have to see what the judges say. They're making the calls up in the judges' booth as we see a nice Space Godzilla to the right, into a lunar orbit, into a cartwheel. He's got 6 seconds left, having another solid ride here. Oh, and there's the buzzer.
catching
That'll be
it
it for Matt in his last ride.
Great first ride from Smiley Matt. He'll be happy with that. Job done. On to the next one.
All right, there he is in the replay, getting that nice big snappy loop. Gotta love the slow-mo replays that they get for us here.
The thing you'll notice with Matt is he's really tight at spotting his landings. If you watch what he does with his head, he's always looking for that landing spot. High levels of accuracy.
And that's what you need here in twin wave and in most freestyle features. Really spotting it. There's a few people that really have that dialed in, and you'll see that here as we keep moving forward with the action in the men's C1 semifinals.
Okay. Next up is Abel Thevenet from France.
All right, the French team's got their horns out. The flags are flying.
Lots of tricolor face paint.
There we go. Let's see what Abel has for us here in twin wave as he sets up, throwing a nice snappy McNasty entry there for the entry 3 score, going for a loop right off the bat. Setting up backwards, let's drops in, looks like he was going for a back loop, pulling it around nice and tall, getting the ends nice and vertical, trying to sell it to the judges as he moves around into a nice McNasty. French horns are screaming, there we go, into the McNasty in the other direction. 15 seconds left on the clock. Set back up, you're going for huge McNasty. That's the one he wanted, really bringing that over nice and vertical to make sure the judges know he wants that on the board, going for a lunar orbit right at the buzzer. Great ride from Abel of France. All right.
Some big moves from the Frenchman. Some really snappy aerial moves.
All right. The French crowd going back to sit down. We've got a little bit of a cheering area where the teams move down and fly their flags and cheer as things go on. Next up, we've got Landon Miller of the U.S. on deck. There's Abel's score coming in 645 points. There he is, got the replays going. It is big. Set up for McNasty. You can see dropping his head down, going around. You see his boat didn't come over quite vertical on that McNasty in the replay there, so that probably won't score for the judges. There's his score. Coming up, second ride score of 630 points. That moves him into 5th place, getting him hopefully into the finals here later today. Landon Miller of the U.S. pointing at his top of his helmet there. Wearing a great level 6 keg top, paddling the Jackson Rockstar 5 with a huge McNasty move, entry move for entry 3 score as he sets up, throwing that boat around into a nice McNasty, trying to go the other way. The offside McNasty right away. Some of the paddlers switch sides for their McNasties with their paddle. Landon does not. He chooses to go offside with a big loop as he resets up, drops in. Nice big loop. Awesome. Going for a lunar orbit on the offside.
Really pulling that boat straight at the end.
Yeah, he's really strong paddler. Oh, going for a Vader flip. Going for that trophy move right at the buzzer. Solid finish for Landon Miller, putting out some of those unique tricks that we don't see very often right at the end. Great ride for the American.
Probably trialing those out for finals.
Absolutely. Yeah, what's it going to take to get to the top step of that podium? Looking at the scoreboard, it's definitely going to be an over 1,000-point ride. Here's the replay for Landon.
Going in a big loop. Seems happy with that. When you're safe, it's always good to try out some tricks that you might want to have in your locker ready for this afternoon.
Yeah, his first run score of 996, having him in second place, will be the ride that he will stick with.
On screen now is Ibo, unfortunately with a little bit to do. Come on, Ibo.
James Ibo Ibbotson, he knows he's got some work to do to get him into that final right away. That entry McNasty into some cartwheels as he resets up. Going for a McNasty, there it is. Oh, high on the foam pile, he works his way back into the feature. Going for a lunar orbit. Backing it up, you can see using his hand to help push him back into the feature. As he goes for the offside lunar orbit. He's got to get a few more tricks on the board here to make, he's looking to make it into that final big loop. He's got 10 seconds left. Let's see what he's got. Going for the back loop. There it is.
Hopefully the judges like that.
Yeah, this is going to be tight for James Ibo Ibbotson, although I'm looking at his preliminary score. It may get him in there. Ibo's pretty happy with that. You saw the fist pump from him. Your fellow countryman, what does he do here?
So Ibo is an employee of British Canoeing. He's only just started that job quite recently.
Yeah, he also puts on the National Freestyle League, I believe.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
So the NFL, it's an all-inclusive entry level to 2,000 point category expert competition. We run it once a month on a Friday night, all through summer, and it will start at Inlet Gate, and we'll have a competition on every single feature moving down the river at some point in the summer, culminating in a final. And there's prizes for every category, from novice, where you'll be pulling moves like cosmic donkeys, and that is Ibo confirmed, 7:30. He is through to finals. British 1 and 3.
All right, so yeah, we are through. James Ibbotson is through to our finals this afternoon in third place. Looks like we've got a solid group of guys going to be in that. Looks like it's going to be in first place, Matthew Stevenson. In second place, Landon Miller. Third place, James Ibbotson. Tom Dole in fourth, and Dane Jackson in fifth. Moving on to our men's final later on this afternoon, where we'll be crowning a world champion. We have a bit of a break coming up here for a few hours. I believe our men's semi-final kayak will be this afternoon right at high noon. 1:15 I'm seeing. Women's kayak semifinals will be at high noon. Men's will be at 1:15. So we'll be signing off here from the ICF Canoe World Freestyle Championships here at home Pure Point Country Park, home of the National Whitewater Center. Brought to you by Direct Business Solutions. Myself and Becca will be back later on this afternoon. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you in a few hours.